What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Thursday evening's FPL roundup. That's apparently what I'm calling the stream now. I've just lost the headphone already. It's going bad. How is it going? We're midway through the Man United match. I'm not going to be able to watch it now while we're streaming. But let's be honest, the tie is over, down to 10 men. Club Brugge 3-0 up for Man United. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, probably the best midfielder in the league, maybe even in the world, I don't know. Probably not up for debate, so we won't talk about that for too much. What else is there that's gone on? Kevin De Bruyne is on penalties. Is he essential? No one's been discussing that on Twitter today. Traore, should he go? Should he stay? Played today. Martial now injured as well. What do we do with him? Probably a lot to talk about. But first, we've got 20 minutes of bench. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I even deleted that picture I had for the sunglasses and the bench boost stuff, so don't panic about that at all. Greenwood in. That's a good point, actually. Greenwood didn't start today. Could start on the weekend, maybe. Potentially, if you're down to kind of like 10 or 11 players and you've got Greenwood on the bench, you could play him, maybe. Looks good for Igalo, though. Igalo will be a massive punt now. Obviously, we don't know how long Martial is out for. Maybe we'll get some more news after the game. Maybe we'll get some more news in the press conference. But Solskjaer is not good with giving news. And he's kind of already said he's injured. Hopefully it's not too bad. Martial always gets injured. It's frustrating. Anyway, before we jump into all that stuff, let's quickly talk about the sponsorship. OneFootball, as always, of course. Hopefully partnering actually with the channel to the end of the season-ish. We'll see about that. But they've been a great supporter of the streams and the channel in general, so thanks very much to them. If you haven't already tried it out, you can see it on screen. Great football app, live scores, team news, lineup news, football news, all that stuff. Link in the description below if you want to try it out for completely free, like I said, or just search OneFootball on the Android, iOS stores. Make sure you do if you haven't already. I'm sure loads of you have in chat. But like I said, if you haven't already, it's completely free. Try it out, just see what you think and go from there. Okay. Oh, what? Why is it white underneath? Oh, hang on. I got to mess with the chat here. There we go. There we go. That should look better. Okay, so it just happened to be on the bench boost. How annoying is that? I mean, there was another game actually on Monday, wasn't there? Was Man United game on Monday? Oh no, of course, the Liverpool game was on Monday. I streamed on Sunday, didn't I? So got to the 99 points in the end, as I'm sure you've seen on Twitter and on the other videos and stuff. Salah captain. I was annoyed not to get 100. I know I'm not allowed to be annoyed, but I was annoyed. So yeah, the team went okay last week. So this week, more importantly at this point, not going to be as good as last week, of course. But it looks okay. I think in terms of my team, the only real decisions are, do I get rid of Traore? Do I even play Traore? I could play Stevens. I can pretty much get any player in the game apart from... I could get Mane, but I'd have to do it in... But I could get Mane, actually. I could... In fact, I forgot I've got Mahrez. I could get Mane. Could do Mahrez to Mane and Firmino to Igalo or Jota. But then, no, actually, the reason I can't do that is because I've already got 3 Wolves players. So that's a bit annoying. Anyway, key question is, what do I do with Traore? I could just play Stevens. I could play Stevens instead of Bolly. I mean, the annoying thing with Traore is, so the reason for anyone that's like kind of not caught up today, the reason we think Traore may not play is because Jota and Jimenez were rested. They obviously played 3-5-2 the last game in the league. And they also played 3-5-2 again in Europa League. So they basically kept the same formation even if they didn't have their 2 key men up front, and Traore played up front. Now, he did score, which is good, but my feeling is he's going to be benched. And the annoying thing about him, sometimes you get those players, obviously you can never guarantee it, but there are some players who I can't think of any off the top of my head, so maybe I'm just talking rubbish. Not necessarily players, but there's situations, I suppose, where a player gets benched and you're kind of sure that they're either going to play or they're not going to come on. Is basically a long way of what I'm trying to say. The problem with Traore is he will play some part in that game, whether he starts or not. Hang on a sec, let me get rid of Slack. Yeah. Sorry. pretty interesting. Listen to me type. This is one of the reasons I always think the podcast is funny, because now I'm not going to edit that out of the podcast. I'm just going to upload it as is. So now they're going to hear me typing. So apologies for that. Yeah, Sterling maybe, someone like that. Anyway, they've switched formation. Traore and play. I mean, he literally played up front today, but of course he's not going to play instead of arrested Jimenez or Jota. So yeah, I don't think he's playing the next game, and he's going to come on if he gets benched. Like, he will get minutes, and he could score, of course, but I mean, there is a chance they switch to 3-4-3, I suppose, because it's Spurs, play Traore, Jota, and Jimenez. It's not like Traore, cannot play more than one game in a row, or two, more than a game in a row. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what to do with him. I really wanted to save a free transfer this week. I feel like there's probably more I need to do next week. It's not a hit for me though. It's not a hit for me. I've got 2.4 million in the bank. Obviously, Harvey Barnes is only 0.2 million more expensive anyway. So, yeah, I can just take him out for free. I don't even have to necessarily take him out. I could take Mahrez out, go for a bigger signing like Richarlison maybe, and just bench Traore. I mean, at some point, one of McNeil, Traore, and Mahrez is going to get downgraded to like a 4.5 million, like Saka or whatever. I do want Harvey Barnes. The one thing, obviously, 2 free transfers is just in case it's a double game week. But anyone that's talking about it seems to think, I think it's mostly Ben, but seems to think that if there is going to be a double game week, it will be announced before the deadline for this week. So there's that. So if it's not announced by like 5-6 o'clock tomorrow evening, then apparently I don't know for sure, of course, the chances of a double game week are a lot less. Now, obviously, if there was going to be double game, I really need the 2 free transfers to try and get De Bruyne and maybe even get Aguero. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to do Traore to Barnes. Now, the only good thing about tomorrow is we're probably going to get early team news. So if you are thinking about making a Leicester purchase, I would just wait. Unless you're really, really strapped for cash and it's like, price rise will stop you. You might as well wait for the team news tomorrow. We almost certainly will get some kind of early team news, you'd imagine. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. We'll see. So the thing with De Bruyne is obviously he's got penalties now. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. He took a penalty. He scored it. That's more than pretty much anyone else in a Man City shirt has done for a few weeks. So obviously he's already appealing because he's the best scoring player in the whole game. I'm going to sneeze any second. Oh, look at that mic skills. So he's the highest scoring player in the game anyway, right? So I know there's a lot of chat about whether he's essential or not, and I was kind of joking around on Twitter a bit. But I do think there's obviously, I've kind of got away with not having him the last 2 weeks. And now it's going to be a blank. Man United away. And look, I don't really want to argue over whether that's a hard fixture. For me, that's not necessarily a fixture I'm that bothered about having a player playing in. And then it's Burnley at home, which is good. Yeah, very good. In fact, the Burnley at home game is a bit frustrating because he's easily, I think, almost I would say easily the best captain that week. So I probably need him for that. But then it's potentially another blank. And then it's Liverpool at home. So it's really just that Burnley at home game in the next 5 fixtures that I really want him for. So I don't know. Need to see if he has pens when Aguero is on the pitch. Yeah, that's a fair point. I think the fact that he scored though so comfortably will be in his favour basically. Can people stop overthinking your top 4K and overall rank? Try all play and score points. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you are in the ranks. Like you don't know that. None of us do. That's the problem, right? He will play some part. I'm almost certain of it. Whether he'll play from the start is different matter. Burnley have won 13 points in the last 5 years. I know, but Man City is a different proposition, right? And it's at home as well for Man City. I don't know. You decided against De Bruyne already. Why would one penalty make you change your mind? I didn't decide. Well, I've decided against him for a while. I never said I would never bring him back. Like that Burnley at home game looks nice. The thing is, like, I know it's a bit far ahead to be looking, but so that's game week 30. They play Burnley at home. So Leicester play Watford. Whether or not I'll have Vardy at that point, I don't know. Chelsea play Villa. I don't know if there's going to be any Chelsea players that want. Southampton play Norwich. Again, will Ings be captain? Void? I don't feel comfortable doing it right now. Spurs are playing Man United, so obviously Fernandes definite captain option there. And Liverpool playing Everton away, and again, I'm just not sure there's going to be a huge amount of goals in that one. So yeah, I mean, I kind of already knew that I might have to get De Bruyne back at some point. Obviously, the only thing about getting rid of Traore, if he does keep his place, which I really just don't see now, that's one less player for game week 31, but I could just use my free hit, so we'll see. The other reason to kind of save a transfer this week is the FA Cup fixtures are soon. Yeah, so they're basically kind of in the middle. Sorry, after this game week basically is the FA Cup. So it's between game weeks 28 and 29. So we'll know for sure then who's blanking in game week 31. So that's another good reason to keep your free transfers, because let's just say there's a big upset. And I don't know, I can't even remember off the top of my head who's up for it. But let's say, I know Leicester was suddenly playing in game week 31 and they've got all these good fixtures as well. And suddenly that changes your thinking. So I would, if you can save a free transfer this week, do it. But if not, then I wouldn't worry a huge amount. Like, I think people talking about doing Martial to Fernandes. Let's wait and see what Solskjaer says in the press conference or after the game. But Martial to Fernandes seems like one of the easiest transfers you'll probably make all season, I would say. Keep Mahrez for Mane or more, especially with being a differential for more. Underlying stats not bad over. I'm not really interested in Spurs, I don't think. Keep who? Traore, is it? Yeah, I don't know. My team's obviously, the price structures are a bit annoying because I've got 8 attackers. So, like I said, I keep saying at some point, Saka, I don't think there's a better cheap midfielder at the moment for that kind of price. I'd have to have a proper look at it. We'll come in for McNeil, Traore or Mahrez, and that'll give me the money. Assume game week 29 is Man City and Arsenal. I'd have to do some live tinkering, but I'd want De Bruyne for sure. He would be the captain, even though it's Arsenal and Man United. But I'd still obviously want a Man City captain. So De Bruyne captain straight away because he's most likely to play both games. I'd look at Aubameyang as well. That's another move I'm considering next week for game week 29. Firmino to Aubameyang. But there is a part of me that just wants to get Jamie Vardy in this week. Zimmerman's out for Norwich. Not good for them. Martial to Fernandes for -4. Not so straightforward. Definitely straightforward. First rule of FPL: get players that are nailed for near or on 90 minutes. Yeah, that's usually a good idea. More typing. It's a typing stream. I'm sorry. Kind of distracted a little bit. My bad. Is Trent a strong captain choice? It's hard to argue against it, to be honest. I think Watford are not looking great going forward or defensively. So there's attacking potential there. Clean sheet. Same old, same old. He hasn't blanked for like a billion years either. Traore and Grealish are your biggest headaches. Unless you've got 2 or 3 transfers. I mean, I don't know if it's knee-jerk. And obviously Traore could play, right? I'm going to keep saying that. He could play. But you know Grealish is nailed. So if I had to choose between getting rid of Traore or Grealish this week, it would be Traore. I don't think that right now there's better options than the cheap Leicester mids, either Perez or Barnes. You know me, I prefer Barnes. Probably not a huge amount in it. Although recently enough, Barnes kind of shooting more, creating more chances as well. So that's been the ones I go for. That is actually a problem we haven't talked about. Who's scoring for Man United if Martial is out? But we've got Igalo. I think he looked okay today. Now, obviously, a few caveats. One, half of when he looked okay was against 10 men. But even like early on, like you could see, I don't know. He was making some nice runs in behind. He was holding the ball up well as well. So he could bring other players into play. But, yeah, you're right. If Rashford and Martial aren't out, you're kind of sticking to maybe Daniel James, Mata having to play more as well. But Fernandes is there and he's so good. But yeah, you're right. Obviously, there's some tough games coming out. And if Martial is out, yeah, we're basically relying on Igalo being amazing. Oh, Greenwood as well, of course. In fact, I expect it might actually be, if they play like, I don't know, James, Igalo, Greenwood maybe, front three, something like that. I get that we're playing against 10 men. Right? I'm only kind of half messing, but Fernandes has still looked great, all right, even in the league games. Obviously, it'll be tougher in the league, but still. I don't know, I still feel like Fernandes is a good option. Oh, Bruno captain. That might be a step too far for me, I think. Martial is out. Yeah, I mean, we should say we don't know again for sure if he's definitely out this week, but if I had to bet money, I would say he will be. But yeah, I tweeted actually saying nobody who brings in Vardy this week can say form over fixtures because he hasn't scored since game week 18. This is purely a fixtures play, and I'm all for that. I like trying to go for the fixtures. And if indeed he's back, even better, to be honest. It's not like Igalo is totally new to the Premier League. He's done well in the past. Yeah, I must admit, I was watching him thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm quite impressed. But then I thought to myself, I'm impressed because he's not awful. And like at this point, sometimes with Man United, I suppose we've actually done okay in the transfer market recently enough. But yeah, I don't know. Just expected him to not be good. Why not go for broke with a differential captain Ings? West Ham will have to go for the win. Yeah, I just don't see the need to go against Liverpool, who I'm expecting to do really well, to be honest. I don't know if there's a need for a go for broke captain this week of all weeks. I'm not sure there's a huge amount to be gained. Salah's away stats are poor. Consider Firmino. I have considered Firmino. And to be honest, like he is due a goal. Like seriously, he's due a goal. Underlying stats look good. Even like watching him from the eye test. I mean, you can look at the eye test two ways. One, he got loads of good chances, or two, he finished poorly. You know, it's whether or not he's going to keep doing that. I would assume he won't. He's a good player. But obviously, he doesn't get. It's all these like extra points for a clean sheet for Salah, extra point for a goal. So I'm not going to go Firmino, I don't think. Even though I do agree he's quite a good choice. I think that's why I'm not going to do Firmino to Vardy. Although if I see that team sheet, indeed he's back, and obviously Vardy will be playing, and Zimmerman's out, it'll be hard not to go for him. But I just think Firmino has probably done enough to give him one more chance. Next week I'll probably get rid though. And so if Vardy hauls, it will be annoying. But I'm also looking at Aubameyang, to be honest. William Jones, thanks very much. And I obviously can't see the message. Which people would use his proper name? Fernandez, not Fernandez. He's Portuguese, not Spanish. Is it not pronounced the same though? What do you think of a Maverick captain this week? Like Nick Pope? I mean, there's nothing Maverick about captain the goalkeeper. In my opinion. I mean, so let me rephrase that. There is kind of Maverick to captain the goalkeeper, but there really is not enough upside, to be honest. Like to get a big haul, it basically involves a penalty save. Or you're expecting Newcastle to be so good on the attack, Pope gets like 6 saves. Both seem unlikely. Barnes, sure, if you want to go full Maverick, Barnes against Norwich could be good. No, see, this is wrong. You're wrong about trying to go completely against the crowd to climb up the ranks. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that. Again, I think it's all about calculated risk. If I had, I wouldn't captain Ings. I might consider Firmino. If I had Mane would be the one that I would captain for less ownership than Salah. But I'm not just going to go for an out there pick and hope that they do better. Like I really don't think Ings is going to do any better than Salah. So going against the crowd for a player I don't think will do well will just put me further behind. Am I on TikTok? No, do you know what? I keep seeing TikTok. And all I can think to myself is I can barely get myself on Instagram. I was thinking to myself, I really hope I don't have to go anywhere near TikTok. It doesn't sound like something where a lot of FPL managers will go to, thank God. Why not Stevens over Bolly? Yeah, I mean, that's up for discussion, to be honest. I think my thinking there is if I go Stevens, it's double Southampton defence, which obviously worked out well last week. But I thought West Ham did okay against Liverpool. So I'm expecting West Ham to score in that game, even if it's not a huge score. So do I want to go double Southampton defence or Bolly? I mean, obviously Bolly's not got a massive chance of a clean sheet maybe, but no Son, no Kane, 3 clean sheets in a row in the league. I'm not expecting the Spurs to do too well in that game. So probably I'm going to play Bolly, but it's pretty close, that one. Pen against is ridiculous. De Bruyne's handball. Yeah, it did look like handball to me. TikTok, is it a watch-based app? No, it's like... I think it's like... what was that? Oh, that other... It's like very short video clips, I think. Captain Dwight McNeil. Hell no. The funny thing was, when I made this team and had McNeil, I actually had him in mind this week to sell for Barnes. Has anyone ever told me I talk too much? They have, funnily enough. I did think that was quite funny. What are my views on Mount versus the Vine? That's it. What are your views on Mount versus the Bournemouth defence? I actually think Mount could be a shrewd differential for this week, but the only thing that puts me off longer term is there's so many options in that Chelsea midfield now, especially with like Loftus-Cheek back. I know they don't all necessarily play in the same position, but you know, all in and around the same position in the kind of central midfield, maybe slightly more attacking, slightly more defensive, whatever. That's what kind of puts me off a bit. But I think for this week, yeah, it could be quite nice. Look, I said like on the preview of McNeil, look, I think his underlying stats were quite good for assist potential, but not for goal threat. And I think he only had 1 shot in the box in the last game. Obviously, he hit the post. I can't remember if that was outside the box or inside, but obviously he hit it, so it's off target anyway. So, yeah, goal threat, I'm not expecting a huge amount. But what I was reading about him, like he was given more of a freer role, I think, in the second half, or towards the end of the second half, which is kind of what sparked basically all his returns, essentially. So, I mean, whether they do that again, I don't know. I mean, he is 6 million. Like, I wouldn't be. I said this in the brief. Don't be getting McNeil and expecting another 14-pointer. But I think he could tick over. He could tick over a little bit. But again, would I get him ahead of Barnes or Perez? Probably not. That is obviously another thing I could do instead of getting rid of Traore, is just start Stevens instead. I have considered that, but I think I would just go for Barnes. Good fixtures for Leicester. Just go for it. He's low owned as well. His ownership's quite low. I like him. Bit of a differential. And that's the kind of thing I would do instead of captaining whoever, just because. Please, can you do a community poll on whether there should be polls on your streams? There's no point in doing that because the answer will, of course, be there should be. Arsenal losing, and Ben said it would make a ton. Would make a ton of sense to move Man City versus Arsenal to game week 29. Oh, let's do some tinkering, all right? Excuse me. Let's say, I don't know if we want to have the polls conversation every single stream, but basically you've seen how I can load up the stream in advance so it shows up on your homepage. I can't do that and have polls, basically. I don't think. Not right now, anyway. Oh my god. So let's say there's a double game week. See, this is the problem. These two would have to go. This is even if I want to keep Mahrez. Like, I don't even know if I would want to keep Mahrez for a double game week. I mean, I probably should because I already own him. I don't know if I really want to. So, Saka would come in. I think every left back for Arsenal is injured right now, so he would definitely play. And I know it's like reverse out of position. But I mean, look at the amount of assists he's got. 4 assists already in the league, and he's not played a huge amount of minutes. So I'd bring in Saka, and then De Bruyne would have to come in. So I'd have to make up $1 million. The thing is, and this is already 2 transfers. I think realistically, I would probably just go for 2. And I would get rid of Mahrez. Can I do that without... Let me just check this. Oh, I suppose 3 if you count Saka, but I don't know if he really counts that massively. And just get Aubameyang in. I think I would rather... I think I would prefer to have Aubameyang versus Aguero for game week 29 because Aguero will play Man United and Arsenal, whereas Aubameyang will play West Ham and Man City, and obviously he's nailed for both games. So it would be tough not going into a Man City game without a Man City double without Aguero. But there's a chance he misses one of the games. And I'd rather have Aubameyang longer term, I think. And I could just captain De Bruyne anyway. Or even Aubameyang, to be honest. So I'd probably do something like that. But obviously it would cost me 8 points. And if I do Traore to Barnes this week, I'd have to just get rid of McNeil, which is not the end of the world, to be honest. The only thing is, once you get rid of Traore and McNeil, you're kind of going... I'm kind of putting myself into a position where I have to free hit in game week 31, which might not be the worst thing. And to be fair, if Liverpool beat Chelsea, then I'm almost certainly free hitting him in game week 31 anyway. But I think this is what I would do. So I could still afford to get Barnes in this week. It would just cost me a -8, but I'm happy with that for the double. At the end of the day, I've used my wild card to try and get ahead a bit earlier. I've got to make some sacrifices with points hits at the end of the day. I knew that already. McNeil will play in 31. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But realistically, the thing is, okay, so just to reiterate, if there is a double game week, we will know before this game week starts who's blanking in game week 31. So again, if Liverpool win, you know, game over. I pretty much have to free hit because I lose all my Liverpool players. I won't have Traore. Might have to take McNeil out. I've only then got Jimenez, Bolly, and Taylor. I think that's it then. So I would have to free hit, which is not the end of the world. Because at the end of the day, if you've got players in that are blanking, that means they're going to have a double game week down the line. So it's not the worst, to be honest. McNeil has paid his dues, got the 600k jump. Exactly. Thank you, McNeil. Thanks for your once-in-a-lifetime double-digit haul. We'll see you again this time next season. Why not free hit game week 29? Hell no. Game week 31, I'm going to have loads of blank players. I mean, you could free hit, go triple Arsenal, triple Man City, but I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, I don't. In fact, I say I don't think so. I don't think it is. Oh, what did I say? Oh, I don't know. I don't think it is anyway. Richarlison or Fernandes. I mean, I can actually bring Richarlison in this week, which is quite tempting. I don't even know who's got the worst fixtures out of the two, to be honest. I think I prefer Fernandes just a bit. I do think Martial is a bit of an issue though. But all set pieces for Fernandes, penalties as well, like it does make a difference. I don't think there's much in it though. Like Richarlison and Everton have been so good this year. That is in calendar year. Oh, what's happened? Oh. Ow. Would it, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want three Arsenal. I don't really want 3 Man City either, not longer term anyway. Yeah, no, Man United definitely been playing better, but I mean, It's hard not to, I suppose. Richarlison plays game week 31. Yeah, fair enough. And if you really need, and you're not going to play your free hit, or you've not got it, then maybe Richarlison's the better option. But I'm trying. I always get fixated with blanks and doubles, and yeah, blanks and doubles. And you should know about them and kind of make decisions with them in mind. But I don't want to make. Like, there's still 3 games before game week 31. So if you think Fernandes heavily outscores Richarlison, get Fernandes in and take a hit down the line. Obviously, it is a bit of a risk because he might have other stuff that needs to, needs to be dealt with or whatever. But I'm trying to not get too fixated with making every transfer with game week 31 in mind, to be honest. What was my rank last season? Like 12k or something? Not 467k, that's for sure. Swear I took out De Bruyne. I have, yeah, this is I'm on the transfer screen. This is potentially, sorry, we were looking at potential double game week transfer. If there's a double game week in game week 29. Free hit in 31 seems a waste. Why is that? I mean, obviously, potentially it is if there's like no players playing. I mean, it could be just like Burnley, Watford, Wolves. You know, be tempted to free hit, go Jimenez, Jota, McNeil, Pope. I mean, there's some okay options. Sice in as well. I think the thing with free hit is a lot of people look for the overall score, but that's obviously not what matters. It's the, I suppose. It's hard to say definitive. It's hard to say definitively whether it's better in one week or another. But obviously, if you use it in a double game week and you score 150 points, that's great. But if your original team would have scored 130, you've only actually got 20 points extra. Same in a free hit thing. If you've only got 3 players playing, and you free hit to get a play in 11, you're probably going to come out with 20 points or more. Yeah, of course, you don't have a chip for the double game week, but that's the situation I've put myself in. I can't worry about that. You know, it's happened now. How old am I? I'm really old. Yeah, McTominay back is good for Man United as well. Really happy with that. Do I think the coronavirus will mess up future game weeks? It might do. I think there's a case in Northern Ireland now. I saw before it come on. So who knows? Once it starts spreading around the UK, they might have to stop them. Imagine that. Imagine all the FPL talk if games start getting called off because of the coronavirus. Jesus. If you can get 7 to 8 players out in game week 31, including 3 Wolves players, save it for game week 37. Yeah, I'm not against that. Like, the problem is, we're obviously talking about something I just can't say for sure. Next week, it'll be all a lot clearer. Why did I bench these last week? Because I wanted 33 extra points. And I just wildcarded. Ship Mahrez or the Lord to navigate the blank. I mean, it's hard to say about knowing the rest of your team, to be honest. I mean, Mahrez might actually play the odd game, with Lundstram seems to have lost his place. Trouble with that team is you have to play McNeil or Saka. But it's a double game week, so I just play Saka, right? Nothing wrong with that. The main thing that's wrong with this is only 2 Liverpool players. No one's mentioned that. I think I saw that on the news. There's a case in Northern Ireland. Like, I'm not trying to scaremonger people. Is 258 your highest game week rank ever? Probably. I don't really track that stuff. I always wish I did. Like, right now, you've asked me that question. I think, I should definitely track that stuff. I definitely won't, though. You can't seem to be able to get rid of Zaha. Oof. No, I'm not taking... This is a problem with streaming. I'm not taking an 8-point hit. We were just going through what transfers I would make for a double. And I think these would be it. So I'll go back. We're kind of finished on that discussion now. It's confusing too many people as well. You've been rocking 2 Liverpool for a while. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I know... I'm surprised no one mentioned it then, but obviously right now I've got Trent, Salah, Firmino. Look, I should have probably gone double defence, but whatever, I made a decision. So if I take out Firmino for Aubameyang, like, that's okay, I think. Because that's how I've structured my team. How bad was my hacked password on a scale from 1 to 10? 11 maybe? It wasn't necessarily that it was super bad, although it was quite bad. It was already out there. That was the problem. Self-isolate. There you go. Legend. Why am I saving all the pounds in the bank? How did I get 2.4 in the bank? Oh, yeah, because I had Son, and I bought in Fernandez. That's why I got money in the bank. Traore, probably not, to be honest. Traore to Barnes and Henderson to McCarthy for a -4. You got no playing keeper this week. I mean, Henderson is going to blank twice in the next, like, 3 or 4 weeks, so it's probably not the worst time to get rid of him. Play McCarthy or Pope. You've already started Taylor. I'd be tempted to play Pope in that situation, to be honest. I know I was talking about not playing double Southampton defence myself, but Burnley playing Newcastle, they've been doing pretty well recently. Probably play Pope. Thoughts on Zaha? Great features. I mean, that is where my thoughts end, I think. I just don't think he or Crystal Palace have done anything this season to suggest that he should be bought in, to be completely honest. I don't know. I mean, you could target the fixtures, of course, and hope that he pulls something off, but no, just not for me. Not for me. I can't get behind Zaha at all. And we're not worried about Vardy against the leaky Norwich or Aston Villa defence next week. I mean, worried is not the right word. Do I think that Vardy can score in the next 2 games? Yes. I mean, the key question is, though, will Vardy against Norwich massively outscore Firmino versus Watford? And is that a better transfer than, say, Traore, who's probably going to be benched, to Barnes, who will also probably play in that very good Norwich game? So I'm worried in the sense that I don't own him and I think he'll do well, but I'm not like panicked about not owning him. If that makes any sense. Maybe not. A hit for a double game week player is okay. Don't overplan. Yeah, absolutely. And like I've said already, there's no point in me like sitting here worried that I've got no wild card. Other people are going to be able to wild card their perfect double game week team. They're going to be able to use a bench boost in double game week. I just can't do it, you know. Vardy not concerned now. People aren't captaining him in droves. Yeah, that's a good point. He won't be captained hugely, but then again, he's a nice differential this week, so maybe I should be considering him. I mean, I guess the one thing again, like double game week changes things, but if Arsenal get a double game week, that changes things. But you know, if I'm thinking of doing, even if Arsenal don't get a double game week, I'm still considering doing Firmino to Aubameyang next week. So then I guess the question would be: is Firmino to Vardy this week better than getting Aubameyang? Because I would get Norwich and Villa, but again, I think I need to do Traore to Barnes, so it doesn't matter. Can't remember ever playing a team that is almost entirely away players. Yeah, I mean they were all at home last week, so that's all it is really. I mean, obviously it's not always a perfect. You play home, then you play away. You play home, you play away. But it is this week, and a lot of these players were at home last week. What about assets from earlier in the season coming good with fixtures? Yeah, Soyuncu could be a good buy. What's his price now though? Soyuncu's 5. Yeah, he's 5. Whereas Evans is 5.2. Now, I could quickly have a look. But early on in the season, obviously we all had Soyuncu because he was so much cheaper. But in terms of goal threat, Evans was higher than him. Firmino's not the one long term. I know, and again, that's kind of the point I'm making. Maybe he's not the long term pick, and he probably won't be for my team. But is it the right time to get rid of him this week away to a Watford side who are looking poor? They've conceded the 3rd most amount of shots in the box the last 4 game weeks or 4 games, etc., etc. Soyuncu versus Evans. Okay, over the last... Oh, wait, hang on. You still have Soyuncu, you never left. Yeah, shouldn't have wildcarded. I'd have him then. Although then I wouldn't have had a McNeil bench boost. Just saying. Yeah, it's not really that amazing between Soyuncu or Evans, to be honest. Two shots for Evans, last four, only one for Soyuncu. Better, even better baseline bonus for Soyuncu as well. Got that off Fantasy Football Scout, so yeah, maybe just go for Soyuncu, say 0.2 million. Can't get Evans at 5.2 when Maguire is. I know. I wish we had better fixtures. I would go for a defender. Thoughts on Jimenez to Jota to fund money elsewhere, or should you always keeping Jimenez a must? So, if you've got like a transfer you really want to do, you could make that move. The only thing I would say is, like, Jota in 3-5-2 does look really good. He was good last year, but Jimenez was also good. He's consistent. He's always going to play. He's usually always going to play for more minutes than Jota as well. So, unless you really, really, really need that money, I would just keep Jimenez. I don't think he's done anything to warrant getting rid of. Lingard assist, is it 4-0 now? Oh, Fred's on the score sheet. What a legend. Okay, so we still don't know if Arsenal are actually going to be out or not. 1-1 on aggregate. Arsenal going to win, surely. Still thinking Mane and Salah double up is overlooked. If I could do Firmino and try... I could do it with Mahrez, actually, and just bench. Yeah, that is a tempter. I could do Firmino and Mahrez. Alright, let me do it on this screen. I don't know why I keep forgetting that I can take Mahrez out. But I only have to save 1.4. So I could almost just do it for Saka. Obviously I can't. I've got to get rid of Firmino. So I'd have 8.3 million to spend. You can't see that though, can you? I'd have 8.3. So I could get Igalo. I could get Calvert-Lewin. I can't get Jota because I can't do it for... I have to get rid of Traore. That's the problem. It would be an 8-point hit. But yeah, I could potentially get Mane in. And then I would captain him, but probably not going to do it. It's just very expensive, Mane, Salah double. I don't think it's a bad thing at all, and I do quite like the idea of the captain Mane ahead of Salah. Not because I necessarily think there's a massive chance of him doing better. I just think they're so close, not really worth worrying about, but Mane is lower owned, basically. Any reason Jota wasn't in the squad? Yeah, just the rest as far as you know. If I still had De Bruyne and no double game week confirmed for 29, would I transfer De Bruyne to Fernandes? I don't think I would. This is what I was kind of saying earlier on Twitter. Like, there's different circumstances. Like, I don't have De Bruyne, and I've done okay the last 2 games. Do I really want to bring him back for a blank Man United away and a blank in the next 4? But if I already had him, I'd probably just keep him. That Burnley game looks so good. And he could get something against Man United, of course. So unless your team's in real big trouble... I like Fernandes. I just don't know if I'd like him enough to get De Bruyne instead. But then again, looking at it a different way, you make that transfer. You've got Fernandes who's got a game this week. De Bruyne doesn't. Then they play each other. Like, is De Bruyne massively better for an away game to Man United than Fernandes in a home game to City? I'm not sure if it is. And then obviously it's the Burnley game. Then Man United have got Spurs. It's a bit different then. So next couple it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be too eager to get rid of De Bruyne at the moment, I think. The golden boot race should be remembered. Aubameyang is caught up with Vardy. Yeah, good point. Would I bring in Man United's buy? I wouldn't, not until we know he's 100%.